Hi there, welcome again. Welcome back to Changing RPMs. My name is Antonio and I'm trying to document with these videos my the rekindling of my love for vinyl. And I've mentioned here before on this channel how this whole enterprise, as much as it is about documenting, my recently refound love for vinyl, it's also a personal project. Um, and I mean personal in the sense of I'm trying to challenge myself to stick to the habit of creating and uploading a video a week for a whole year, and so I've sort of run out of ideas that I feel inspiring, that I feel encouraged to pursue for this week. And so I'm saying this is a disclaimer. I'm just gonna I chose I picked, actually I didn't even choose them. I just picked 5-7 inches that I had just laying around, and I'm gonna describe them here because that'll help me just check my weekly assignment for the video. So I don't want to this might not be interesting at all for any of you out there watching, and I wanted to leave that clear. And having said that, I'll just proceed and fulfill my weekly duty to create a video. Okay, so the first one I found, is this one by the Zeros. The Zeros are a punk rock band from California. They go way back. I'm not completely sure if if I'm right when I say that they're part of the first wave of punk bands. I think so. I think they were there with Black Flag and Red Cross and the Circle Jerks and all of those bands from Los Angeles when they started out. This is not from that time. This is from the 90s. It's part of I'd say a sort of a comeback that they had in the 1990s, when I was most invested in buying vinyl and collecting records in general. And this is a 7-inch that they put out with a Swedish label called Planet of Noise, and these are part of an album that they had at the time that I remember them releasing it with a Spanish label called Munster. And so this goes back to that era, that sort of comeback in the 1990s by the Zeros. Another 7-inch I have from the 90s. This is the first single of an album by the John Spencer Blues Explosion. The album was called Acme, and the first single that album was this song here, Magical Colors. I remember this sort of bright color industrial minimal design was part of the artwork for the whole album Acme. And I also have the 7-inch for the next single, Talk About the Blues, which was quite famous at the time because it featured Winona Ryder as John Spencer, just lip syncing to the track in that video. And so this was the first single. It was quite a departure, I think, from their previous two albums. I remember John Spencer Blues Explosion sort of making it to the alternative mainstream of the time through their one of their earlier albums called Orange, that I also own, and that I loved. I'm going to show you because I really love that. So in this album Orange, I have a signed copy here, signed by Russell Simmons and Judah Bauer. That would be the second guitar player and the drummer of the band. And as you can tell, this is a almost like it has a sort of a mirror effect. And so, yeah, this was the album that made them sort of quite known in the mid in the 1990s. Then they followed that up with another album called Now I Got Worry, and both of those albums were quite quite noisy and quite fiery, and there was a rawness to them that was a bit missing from this third album in a row. I mean, it wasn't the third album. They had published other albums before Orange, but these three albums that they did in the mid to late 90s that I was involved with the band as a fan. This third album, once Acme came out, it presented a bit of a sleeker sound and approach to songwriting and the production of the album. This sounded more hi-fi in a way. It wasn't really hi-fi, but it sounded like that in contrast to both Orange and Now I Got Worry. Next up, the next 7-inch I picked, it's this one by one of my favorite bands, Red Cross. They're actually responsible for my, rekindling of my love of vinyl and my collecting habits. And this is a single that they put out before between the albums Third Eye and Phase Shifter. This is a single they put out in 1993, so right before they released Phase Shifter, and this is a single with the song Switchblade Sister. This is a song that they still play to this day. Again, Red Vinyl. They play to this day. It's part of their set list. At least it was in the last store when I saw them recently, and I really love this song. I'm not sure if YouTube's gonna censor that because it's probably it would regard them Discover as non-appropriate, but I hope they don't pick it up. This is this other 7-inch. This is a Black Sabbath single that features Wicked World on side 1 and Evil Woman on side 2. This was part of a reissue of Black Sabbath's first album. It was part of that that package, that product, and I sold that album a few years ago because I wasn't. I know this is like heresy to a lot of people, but I don't love Black Sabbath's first album. I very much prefer them further down in their career. I very much prefer Sabbath 4 and Master of Reality and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath and Sabotage. That's what I obviously I love Paranoid, but like my favorite albums are Master of Reality onward. And finally, the last album, the last 7-inch I picked, it's this blue vinyl Belle and Sebastian single. This is part of the what was one of their I would say I'm not a I haven't followed Belle and Sebastian a lot. I was quite fond of their music around the mid 2000s when this album called The Life Pursuit came out, and this song, the blues are still Blue is part of that album. It reminded me of T-Rex, and I just really enjoyed that album, The Life Pursuit. And I haven't really none of their other albums. I know they've put out huge amount of music, but none of those other albums have really caught my attention the way The Life Pursuit did. And this being this came out in 2006, I think, and this wasn't a very good time for vinyl. And the only reason why I bought this is because on the B side it features a cover of the Irish traditional whiskey in the jar, obviously made famous by Thin Lizzy originally, and then the Metallica cover of that song, that adaptation of Thin Lizzy. I love what they did here. It's a nice it's a nice alchemy if you put together that song and Belle and Sebastian at that time, that era. I remember seeing them live at this time, and they were great. I really enjoyed that show. Anyway, so that does it for today's video. This is a bit of a random video and a random pick of content to discuss here. But as I said, the main purpose of this video is to fulfill my weekly duty of putting up a video. So if you stuck around and you enjoyed it, thank you for keeping me company and investing your time in this. See you around.